So let's move on to building forms that handle data. Let's build our administrative functionality for creating items. In order to do so, let's go to the Solution Explorer and right-click and select Add Windows Forms. Working with objects in C# is really not much different than working with Visual Basic. Again, in this case, when we add a new form, we're going to be adding a form object, and the file extension will indicate what type of language we're using. So in this case, we'll go ahead and create a blank Windows form called Create Item. Select Add. By default, it uses the form object in System.Windows. We want to configure this to take advantage of the features on our base form, just like we did with our main form. In C#, the syntax for inheritance is slightly different. Right-click on the Create Item form in your Solution Explorer and select View Code. Inside the Anti-Curator Admin namespace, you'll see we have a class definition for Create Item. This is the class that represents our form. And as you can see, the colon indicates that it inherits from the form object. We want this to use our own form. Hit Control-Space to trigger IntelliSense. Select Anti-Curator Admin, select Dot, and select the base form. We now inherit from the base form. Save all your changes. From the drop-down menu, select Build, Build Solution. And now click on the design for the Create Item. And we can see now our Create Item screen reflects all the information that was on the base form. Let's continue to add to this. Now let's wire up our base class, the Create Item navigation button, to launch the Create Item form that we've just created. Go inside your base form, select the Create Item button. On the right-hand side in the Properties window, select the lightning bolt to get to the events. Double-click on the click event. Just like Visual Basic, the first thing we want to do is add a try-catch handler. Type in try and hit the tab button twice to automatically generate a try-catch handler. For the exception object, let's create a variable called EX. Inside the catch, let's go ahead and leverage our writeStatusMessage method that we've created earlier. Type in this dot writeStatusMessage, and then type in error in creating item, colon, space, close the quotes, and type in EX message. Close the parentheses and add a semicolon. So now we actually have the ability to write a status message should any exception occur. We can double-click on our main form down in the warnings pane and repeat this for all our exception objects. Type in plus EX message. Select the base form CS file. Let's go back down inside of our Click Event Delegate for the Create Item button. Inside the try, let's add some logic. This logic will launch the form for us. Type in Create Item, and then let's give it a variable name. This is going to be the type Create Item form, and we'll give it a variable name FRM Create Item. Set this equal to new Create Item. Close the parentheses and add a semicolon. Now we'll need to show this form. Select Form Create Item from the drop-down list and select the Show method. Close out the parentheses and add a semicolon. Let's save all our changes, and let's close all our windows. Select Window, close all documents. Now let's go to the designer for the Create Item to add some user interface features to connect to our data. Double-click on Create Item to launch the designer. Click on the toolbox on the left-hand side window. Let's scroll down until we get to Containers. Expand the Containers tab. Inside here, we'll see a split container. Let's drag that onto our form and give it a name. In the Properties window, let's call it Split Container Items. This will separate our item information on the right-hand side of the screen, and on the left-hand side of the screen will allow us to provide a picture of the item that we're looking at. In this chapter, we'll focus on getting the data from the database. Later, we'll configure working with multimedia assets, such as images. Adjust the real estate using the splitter control to make the panel on the right side wider than the left. In the Properties window, select the border style to be Fixed 3D.